Remember why you're here, why you got up this early, what you were doing in this chair, why you have your laptop in front of you. You are not here to consume, you are here to create. Good morning, friends. Welcome back to The Nook. I'm Valerie Geary. I'm a writer and a reader, and on this channel I am sharing parts of my creative life to help inspire yours. For me, getting up early and sitting down to write as soon as I wake up feels very natural. But that's only because I've been doing it for so long that it stopped being a habit and has just really become more about the core essential being of who I am. But it hasn't always been that way. I've had to develop the habit and retrain my brain to show up for me that early in the morning. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing some ideas with you for how to get up early and write. Ideas that I hope will help and inspire you if you are looking to shift into an early morning creative routine of your own. One thing to remember is that with social media, like with YouTube, is that we see other people on here, like me, talking about routines and the way that they're successful, and we think, oh, I'd like to try that. Clearly, if they're being successful, then that must be the key formula to getting things done and to achieving my dreams. What's important to remember that something that might work for another person may not work for you. And if it doesn't work for you, that doesn't mean you're a failure. It just means that thing doesn't work for you. You just have to find the thing that will work for you. So before I dive into the tips of how to set yourself up for early morning creative success, I think it's important to ask two questions. One, do I already have a creative routine in place, and is it working for me? And two, why do I want to get up early and write? If you're showing up for yourself and your creative practice every day and making progress towards your goals, you're doing it. You are succeeding, and there is no reason to go back in and start twisting things all up for no reason other than you saw somebody talking about it on YouTube once. Maybe you think you should be getting up early and having an early morning writing routine because all of these articles are talking about how all the most successful, famous, richest people in the world have early morning routines. You define what your success is. Okay, so you still want to get up early and try this writing thing? Maybe you already have a routine in place, but maybe you're looking to shake things up a little bit, or maybe your routine isn't working anymore, or maybe you don't have a routine and you want to get into one and you want to try something new, or maybe you're like me and early morning is really the only time of day that you have to carve out for yourself and for your creative projects because you have a day job or you have kids that get up later, or all the responsibilities of life just come crashing down after a certain 8:30, 9 o'clock time, and you really just want to try this getting up early and working on your projects thing, but you're not really sure how to get started. Let me share my tips for how to start building a daily morning routine that will allow you to get into a creative flow faster. My first tip is going to be to start slow and be kind to yourself. You're not going to set your alarm tomorrow morning and wake up at 5 a.m. and bam, be ready to work, especially if that's not something that you have built into your life already. This is going to take time. It's going to take habit building. It's going to take patience and persistence. If you are already in the habit of getting up early, this may go a bit faster for you, because if you are already getting up early, this is going to be more about how to wake up your brain and start to work. But if you haven't been getting up early, then it's going to be about training your body how to wake up first. Training yourself to find the motivation to get up early, to pop out of bed, to start moving that early in the morning. It's going to be difficult, but I know you can do it. For me, early is 5 a.m., but it could be later for you. It could be somewhere closer to 6:30 or 7, or maybe it's earlier, maybe it's 4 or 4:30. Whatever time you are currently getting up at, I would recommend that you start working backwards in about 10-minute increments. So for tonight, set your alarm for 10 minutes earlier than you normally do, and continue doing that for several days or several weeks until you have reached the time that you want to be getting up regularly. And remember, it's okay if you sleep in here or there. If you have a day where you sleep in till 10, that's okay. Just recommit and try again the next morning. In order to get up early on a regular basis, you will need to be getting good and consistent sleep. On the days that I don't sleep well, and I feel it, those days are not good creative days for me. I tend to either sleep in on those days, or I'll get up at the time that I would regularly get up and write, but instead of writing, I will sit and make myself a cup of tea, I will do some crosswords, I'll read a book, I'll maybe journal, or I'll go for a walk if it's nice outside. I will be gentler with myself on the days where I didn't get good sleep, because I'm not going to try and force my brain to do something creative when it is absolutely exhausted. It's okay to take breaks. It's okay to rest. Some of the keys to getting Consistent sleep is to set up and stick to a routine of going to bed at the same time and getting up at the same time, regardless of the day, whether it's the weekday or the weekend. Limit your caffeine in the afternoon. Turn off your screens about an hour or two before you're planning on going to sleep. Put your phone away in a drawer. Exercise regularly. Dim the lights. Set yourself up to be cozy in the evenings. Don't drink alcohol. Establish a no phone zone in the bedroom. I have found this to be particularly helpful as I've been trying to get up earlier. I'm less likely to stay awake later because I don't have the phone there to scroll. And I am more likely to get out of bed faster if I don't have my phone right next to me where I can just grab it and fall into the void of social media. I would also say, hey, try to find your natural sleep rhythm, whatever that is. You may find that you are a more creative person in the afternoons and evenings. Lean into that. You do not have to get up early to be successful. Let me say that again. I'm going to say that this entire video. Find a ritual that works for you. A ritual can be a good way to cue your brain to let your brain know that you are ready to sit down and embark on something important. For me, that ritual consists of getting up, making tea, turning on my cozy writing lights, getting my desk set up. I use that 10 to 15 minutes while the tea is brewing to wake my brain up, to wake my body up with some stretching, to think about my story and start to set my intention for the day, start to think about what I want to accomplish in the next 30 to 60 minutes. Now, the ritual for you may not be tea. It could be journaling. It could be waking up and writing some morning pages. Just quickly jot 1 to 3 pages of your thoughts, feelings, your dreams, of your fears, of your hopes, of just anything that is rattling around in your brain. Try to clear the cobwebs out. Try to wake your brain up to do the other work that you want to do for the day. Your routine may be putting on your shoes and going for a quick run or a quick walk around the block. It may be a gentle morning yoga routine. It may have something to do with your animals. I don't know, maybe you get up and talk to your cats or scratch your dog's ear, feed them breakfast. The routine could be your own breakfast. I tend to like to work about 30 to 45 minutes before I eat breakfast, but there have been days where I've woken up just absolutely starving and I need to eat something before my brain will work. In the same way that a ritual will help wake up your brain, so will having a single writing spot that you return to over and over. For me, this is my office. This is the desk in my office, but in the past, I have found that the couch has been a very comfortable spot for me, a place that I return to morning after morning after morning. It may be a writing shed in your backyard, you lucky duck, or maybe there's a coffee shop in your neighborhood that's open early. For some people, the thought of writing in the same spot every day sounds awful, but you can always write somewhere else later in the day. I guess my point is that if you're wanting to wake up early and write and wanting to engage your brain that early to get into the flow faster, sometimes it does help to have cues like the ritual of making tea or sitting down in the same place day after day after day. These are cues that will allow your brain to engage and to say, hey, oh yeah, okay, this is writing time. We're going to be writing for the next 30 to 60 minutes. I am here. I am ready. I am present. Let's get to work. Now, I think I mentioned intention before when I was talking about the morning ritual of making tea, about setting my intention for the day. This can be as simple as I want to be present in this space where I am today. I want to engage in my story in a meaningful way. It can be more complex. It can be a goal that you're setting, like I want to finish the dialogue in this scene, or I want to write 300 words in the next half hour. It can be broad. I'm going to show up for myself today. I'm going to take one small step in the direction of my goal, or, more direct. I'm going to not look at the internet the entire time that I am sitting here at my desk working on my novel. It's something like a mantra, like a meditation, something to fall back on for when you're at your desk, when you're trying to write and you're feeling distracted. Once you have set your intentions, I also recommend setting a timer. Start small with 10 minutes and work your way up to 20, 30, 45, even an hour. But if you start small with 10 minutes, that 10 minutes is all that you have to do. And you just have to sit in that space with your quiet thoughts, with your story, with your character for 10 minutes. You can do 10 minutes. It's gonna feel uncomfortable at first, especially if you're not used to getting up early and writing. You're gonna be antsy, you're gonna feel like you wanna get up out of your desk, you're gonna feel like, what am I doing? I'm not even getting anything done. But just pause for that 10 minutes, focus on your story. Sit with yourself, sit with your thoughts, and you may find that when the timer goes off, you want to do more, you want to write more. Great. But you don't have to. If you're not feeling it, you can get up and go about your day and just be proud of the 10 minutes that you did for that day. You committed to 10 minutes early in the morning, and that's more than you did before. Tomorrow you're going to do it again. There's also something to be said about limiting yourself to only 10 minutes. Even if you want to do more, try not doing more. Leave your brain wanting more, tempt it to come back to the project, to the page. I actually used this method when I was having a hard time getting back into a regular writing routine. I set my timer for 15 minutes and only allowed myself 15 minutes a day. 15 minutes is not a long time, and I would kind of get into it and then just have to pull myself out, and so I would leave little notes for myself the next day, and then I'd be able to jump right back in. Even if you only get a few words in or none, you're working right now on training your brain to sit this early in the morning and think about your story. I think the key here is to sit with your story for a period of time without distractions. And speaking of distractions, the less you have nearby to tempt you away from your writing, the more you will be able to focus on your work. So put your cell phone away, put it in a drawer, turn it off. If you can, turn off the internet on your laptop, set it in airplane mode, or use a Freedom app. There are plenty of apps out there that will help keep you focused and keep the internet distractions away. And yes, you may be thinking, but what if I need to do research? Just jot it down on a scrap piece of paper, research it later after you've had some solid writing time in, after you've had some solid moments of creativity, of making something from nothing. Now, if during these early morning minutes or hours, however long you're choosing to sit and work on your project, if you are starting to feel really antsy or just frustrated at having to sit there, you're feeling tired even, it's okay to get up from your chair, to get up from where you are working and do some stretches. Do a few toe touches, do some jumping jacks, roll your shoulders, roll your head around. If I am in the middle of a writing session and I am trying to stay in focus, to try and stay in the flow, if I start feeling antsy and start feeling like I want to reach for my phone, I get up and do 10 squats, and then I sit back down and start writing again. It has really helped me to get out of my chair and move my body a little bit, not necessarily to disconnect from the story entirely, to stay grounded in the story while also being able to move my body and kind of move that antsiness out of me so that I can sit down and refocus. One of the more frustrating things about getting up early and trying to write is that sometimes you're like, I don't know what I'm supposed to be working on. My brain is not engaging fast enough for me to figure out whether I'm supposed to be working on this scene or that scene, or which connections I'm trying to make, or which dialogue I'm supposed to be working on. It can be hard to just sit down and start writing if you don't know what you're going to be working on. So try setting aside 10 to 15 minutes in the evening before you go to bed to sit down, jot out some notes of what you want to work on first thing when you get up in the morning. They don't have to be fully formed thoughts. They can be words, snippets of dialogue, so that when you get up and you go through your routine and you sit down at your regular spot and you set your intention and you are getting ready to focus in and really start working on that project, you'll have a little bit of a jump start here. You'll have a note that says, hey, start working on this scene, or hey, follow this story question. That way you don't have to spend a lot of time thinking about what you're going to be doing in this short early morning session that you have. You can just jump right in and get started. The final tip that I want to give is just to be patient and give yourself time. Remember, it is called a creative practice. This is something that you are building over time, that you are implementing in your life for a long period of time, not something that you're just trying to get done, get out the door, finish up real fast. For me, creativity is a lifetime practice. It is something that I am working at a little bit every day, trying new things. You may not get it perfect. You're probably never going to get it perfect. I've been doing this for over a decade and I'm still not really very good at it. So you're going to sleep in, you're going to sit down and not be able to write anything, you're going to do the New York Times crossword puzzle instead. That's okay. It's not just about deciding one day to wake up early and get all this stuff done. No, it is about returning again and again, practicing again and again, waking up every morning a little bit earlier until you find that right balance. It's about setting your intention, showing up for yourself, continuing to show up for your work, for your creativity, for your art. It's not going to happen in a couple days. It's not going to feel natural in a week. Try to commit to 3 months of this, of getting up early, of setting up routines, of trying to cue your brain into working and touching base with your creativity every morning for a while, and then check in with yourself. And you may be surprised at how quickly you've supercharged your morning routine and you're able to settle into the flow very quickly. Hopefully you're writing more, or at least feeling more comfortable about getting up early and sitting down to write. If after this period of time, whatever you've decided, 6 weeks, 3 months, if you're still not feeling comfortable getting up early, if your brain is not engaging, if you're not finding yourself slipping into a creative flow very easily, maybe this early morning routine just isn't meant for you. Maybe that is not the way that you're going to thrive and be successful as a creative person. Getting up early and writing, that might be your thing, but it doesn't have to be. Staying up late and writing can be your thing. Writing while you're waiting for your kids to get out of swim practice, maybe that's your thing. You're successful if you are showing up for yourself and for your creative projects a little bit every day, if you are taking small steps towards your larger goal. It's not easy to prioritize ourselves and our art with everything else that's going on. You're doing just that. You're putting in the hard work, no matter what time of day you wake up to do it. I hope you found some of these tips helpful. If you have other tips about getting up early and engaging your brain and getting into the flow, I would love to hear about them. Leave them in the comments. I know there are other people out there who would love to have more tips on how to get up early and start writing. And if you enjoyed this video and you want to watch more of my early morning routine, check out this other video where I get a new alarm clock and try not to break it. Thank you so much for watching. Now get out of here and go make something beautiful.